Hey everyone. Well, happy Monday to you. Thanks for joining us today on the Rich Girl Workshop. And I am your host, Suzanne Brothers Varley. And I am excited to be able to teach this part two of making your wildest dreams come true with time management. Now, I got to tell you something. I love hate that title. I got to tell you, I do. Because I know we don't manage time. We all have 24 hours in the day. We don't manage time. What we do is we really manage ourselves. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So you guys just comment. I've loved your comments. Last week, a lot of comments and a lot of people responded back on what they've been working on and how the tools that they're using or which ones they brought back. And thanks, Kimmy. Kimmy just wrote me recently and just said that she kind of had forgot about these time tools and that she's going to bring them back into her life, which is so important because you know what we all are striving for, a little more harmony, a little more balance. And this gives it that to us. And in a time like this, oh my gosh, guys, don't you agree that we all need a little more harmony? Yeah, we need a little more harmony. Now, also, I have a disclaimer to give. I am not an expert on time management, but I have made so many mistakes and got myself so tripped up in the past that I have learned by having a lot of bloody knees about how to just manage me and the beautiful gift called time. So there's a reason why we started with last week because I feel like you want to get the tools for it. But this week we're going to be talking about some tips as well. So important tips. But you also realize that before we talked about time, we talked about being a people pleaser. Well, that's what started the whole process off. Now you could go back and listen to people pleaser. There's two parts to that too, because that's where it all began. And so we're gonna go from there, you guys. So tell me, Valerie is on, and happy Monday back to you. And Kay, Megan is on, Kara, hi, and Jeanette is on. Okay, now you guys talk to each other. Tell us what you altered from last week. What changed for you? How helpful was it to review this important subject for yourself? Now, also, did you get any pushbacks? Some psychological pushbacks, because anytime you change anything, you know, your brain doesn't want to change. It wants to say things, keeps everything status quo. So when you introduce any kind of a change in your routine and the things you're going to do, you're going to experience it most likely some pushback, right? Okay, so talk to us about that in the comments. So Valerie and Kay and Megan's on, Kara's on, and Jeanette is on. And so, yeah, Kay is saying we all need more harmony and encouraging that direction. Thank you, Kay. So true. Carolyn is on too. So Carolyn, what have you changed about managing this thing called time, which we have to laugh because we don't manage it. We really don't. But talk to us about this. Your comments of your wisdom and your experience are really valuable. Okay. So thanks for being on. And oh, also, thank you for sharing this broadcast, this weekly broadcast with your friends and your family. When we get a new person who comes on, I get so excited about that. So these topics are really for anyone. Great for women, of course, but hey, not so bad for some of those chosen guys out there as well. I want to start with a quote that was from way back. Jonathan Winters said this. It just made me laugh because I think it's so true. He said that his advice was that if your ship doesn't come in, then swim out to meet it. Yes, it's so true. Too many people are standing on the dock and they're waiting for their ship to come in. They're waiting for a gangplank to be perfectly positioned for them to come on. They're waiting for the weather to get right. They're waiting for like an engraved invitation before they make a step forward. So you know that you do know that will never happen, right? Okay, yes. Why? Why does it never happen? Because our dreams don't move towards us. Our dreams, we move towards our dreams. We're the ones that take the step forward. So this is one reason we have goals, and this is one reason why we have personal expectations of ourselves, and they're in front of us. They're in front of us all the time. So that's why we use the tools. That's why we use a list before we go to bed. That's why we do a weekly plan sheet. That's why we do a brain book. That's why we do the year in advance. That's why we have something on our desk every day, especially if you have an assistant. That's why we do that, because vision leaks. The way we want our life to go is great, but if we're not thinking about it several times a day, you know what? It doesn't happen. Vision leaks. It's true. It really does. So that's why you want these tools in front of you all of the time. It also helps you to be very present moment so that when you're with your family, you're with your family. When you're with your career, or if you're an entrepreneur, you own a business, you're there. It helps you to be in the place that you're at right now versus thinking about the other place that you're not. Because that just causes all kinds of confusion. It causes all kinds of guilt, and it really prevents us from enjoying the moment we're in. Jack Canfield is also another one of my favorite authors, and he made a list out of what people are waiting for. And maybe you can relate to this. Some people are waiting for perfection, inspiration, permission, reassurance, someone to change, the right person to come along, the kids to leave home, a more favorable horoscope, a new administration to take over, an absence of risk, someone to just kind of discover you, a clear set of instructions, or more self-confidence. Or some people are waiting for the pain to go away. Let's not wait. Let's take control of our outcomes of our life, and let's stop the negative habit of making excuses for all of that. Stop that. That's just a time waster, and excuses never help us really support us in the end anyway, right? Okay, so here's the other thing I want to start with is that you all have desires, and if you've been gifted with a desire, you've also been gifted with the possibility and ability to be able to accomplish the desire of your hearts. We don't serve a cruel God. Those desires have been placed in our heavenly hands for a reason. They are our gifts. So I think it's really important to embrace that if you have a desire, you also have the inherent ability to create whatever that desire is. Many of us get really tripped up on something though, and it's really comparisons. We compare ourselves to someone else or something else or someone else's set of circumstances, and it really can block our progress. But you got to really hold yourself back from comparison with other people. So it's so important to just run in your own lane, you guys. Seriously, run in your own lane. Because if you ever notice that when you run in your own lane and you're not looking back, you're going to run your best race and you're going to feel exhilarated. But if you keep looking back, you guys know this because you've seen track runners do it. If they look back, they keep looking back. Every time they look back, they lose. They lose time, attention. It's so distracting, and they usually lose the race, of course. So as we move forward into part 2 of this incredible topic, let me remind you of one important big thing, that it is far better to do fewer things with excellence than many things half-heartedly. Okay, so I want to look at your comments. Hi, you guys again. Oh, love having you on. Thanks, Lynette. Great, Kimmy. Hi, sweetheart. And yeah, Megan is saying 6 most important list. Isn't that true? And Megan, you might even say why, because I know that our conversations together have been many times we've talked in what you make a list before you go to bed at night helps you sleep better. It helps you concentrate so that when you get up in the morning, you kind of know where you're going rather than wondering how to start the day off. It's a big time saver. Okay. And then Debbie, hi Debbie. Debbie says she's swimming. Are you literally swimming? Okay. And you're agreeing with one another. Thank you. Carrie is on as well. And yep, Carolyn says, yeah, run your own way. So important. You guys, thanks for your comments and really talk about your experiencing, what your experience, what trips you up. I have listed out 10 tips that I feel are important, and let's talk about those. So the first one I've already kind of talked about, and that is that we must realize that we really do not manage time. We cannot make it bend. We can't change time, but what we can do is manage ourselves. Okay, we know that we can manage ourselves. So tip number 2, setting goals and rewards to back up your action and then celebrate that. I mean, how many times have you ever put in a great day, but you've never celebrated it? You've never given yourself that personal pat on the back. But we're wired for rewards. We are wired for them. However, if you don't reward yourself a little bit every day, your brain is going to go bing over in a different direction where there is a reward. And it's going to try to hit that target. So remember that gold star right on your forehead that you used to get either at church or preschool or something. And you're at preschool and you got that gold star for a good day. You wore it home, you ran around the house, you showed everybody, and you probably even went to bed with it on your head. We're still that little girl or that little guy. We need to have rewards for doing a good job. So goals, you guys, are so important in our life. And I know some of you might just be rolling your eyes right now. whatever name you want to put on it, whatever thing you want to say, whether it's a goal or direction or navigation or whatever it is, but please set them because it helps you to see a bigger picture. But then remember, this tip is reward yourself, okay? So the other part about this that I think in number 3 is prioritizing your tasks. You know, you've got so many things going on, don't you? You're a wife, you're a mother, many of your fathers out there, you're a sister, you're a member of your community, maybe you have small children, maybe you have grandchildren. I mean, we've got a list of priorities in our life, but we really need to prioritize them. So instead of having 5 prioritized on my dump list, you know, my brain dump that I talked about last week, I like to just do the 2 of them. I mean, my brain just want to just do 2 priorities. What's important and urgent, okay? That needs to be done right away, okay? And then what's important but not urgent. It's because this helps me understand what is important and what's important but not urgent, but really does need to get done. And it also helps you to delegate, which is actually tip number 4. Delegation, leading other people to do some responsibilities, even the small tasks, can make such a big difference. And I know some of you might be saying, well, I can't delegate because nobody does it like I want it to be done. Okay, you need to go listen to perfectionism. Okay, all right, because people are never going to get really good at really anything unless you give them a space to be able to do that. And after all, most things that you delegate are not that wildly important. Delegate with some instructions and then follow up afterwards is really going to be your key there. And that was number 4, you guys. So number 5 is start with small tweaks on your schedule. Just tweak some things. Don't try to change everything, because you try to change everything, that'll last about a week and then you'll go, oh, I can't do this, and throw up your hands and go back to your old ways. Okay? Just start small with tweaking some things. Maybe you're going to wake up 10 minutes earlier. Maybe you're going to stay off social media for 20 minutes less than you've been on social media. Because if you even stayed off social media, you know, that mindless scrolling stuff, you would actually add in your week 2.5 hours a week if you just reduced social media by 20 minutes a day. But just start off with a small task. Okay, we're ready for number 6, right? Okay, put a deadline on your tasks. So time does fill the work allotted. If you reserved 2 hours in the morning to get ready, guess how long it takes you to get ready? Yep, you're right, 2 hours, okay? Time is really funny that way, isn't it? It's odd. Just go back to your calendar, your 6 most important list, and the things that you've got. Put a time limit on them. Play a game with yourself. Don't think of it as drudgery. Think of it as kind of a game. Because if you can make it a game, then you give yourself a little dopamine hit because you go, oh, I did that, check. Aha, that's an atta-girl, isn't it? That's an atta-girl. I have found that when I put a time limit on my tasks, that's exactly how much time it took me to do it, no matter what it was. Okay, so number 7 is kind of a big one with me, especially when we had children at home, and that was to plan our meals in advance. I planned them, right? Okay, this is the most stressful thing for women who need to cook or need to provide food for their family in the evening. They start worrying about it like at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you have pre-planned your meals, that's going to save you a ton of time. It's also going to save you a ton of money at the grocery store because you already have your menus and your grocery list. Go to the grocery store once a week, that's it. Now, I also put my meals at the bottom of my weekly plan sheet. And if you are doing a calendar, at the bottom of your calendar. But the reason why I like it on the weekly plan sheet is I could put it on the fridge, and I did get 17 times asked, what are we having for dinner? This also helped me because I'm a believer in crock-pot, Instapot, whatever, getting ready things early in the morning so that they're, by entry time, dinner is really ready. That's a stressful time in your home, re-entry time. So if they come in and they can smell something's been cooking, it will soothe the savage beasts in your home. Okay, all right. Okay, number 8. You guys ready for number 8? And then I'm going to go back because Charity has responded. Okay, yeah, Kara, I agree with you. My rewards always involve food. And I would do a couple things, like I could book a couple people for my business, and then I would give myself a cookie. But I gained like 20 pounds, so I had to stop doing cookies. Okay, reward yourself with something. You guys know what that would be, right? Could be a bath in the evening with candlelight. It could be an hour where you get to go in the backyard and read a book. It could be a walk by yourself. I mean, some people like to do things by themselves, especially if you have family and you're surrounded by people all the time. All right, number 8. Stop multitasking. Okay, despite what you guys might think, it produces very low quality. Your attention is divided into two tasks, and your brain has to think twice as long to get back to the original task. It's the switching back and forth. And it also reduces creativity and takes up energy. Every time you switch, it takes energy to switch back and forth. And it calls your brain for brain storage. So you start to run out of brain storage. If I can just say to you guys, stop multitasking. This was a big problem for me because I was so proud of myself that I could multitask. I could put on my headset, I could have a conversation, I could multitask on something else, but I really wasn't present to either moment. Okay, when I stopped multitasking, made a big, big difference. All right, you guys, number 9, we're almost at number 10. But before number 9, I want to see what y'all are saying here. Okay, yeah. Oh, Charity, I love what you're saying here. Extremely crucial to plan. Okay, did you hear your friend Charity? Extremely crucial. She says it, so true. All right. You know what? Exactly right. Figuring out as you go. And Carrie, she has a very big family and grandchildren. And yeah, she's always on. She puts them on the weekly plan sheet. So did I. When my children were home, they were on the weekly plan sheet. And so was my husband on Friday night in red. And, no TV, no business. We just had a date night. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. Yeah, and Debbie, she started doing her wilt meat planning, like a couple weeks ago. Good for you. Big deal. It helps a lot of the stress to go down. All right, number 9, you guys, you ready for this? Let's do number 9. Link your action to your goals. Ask yourself this question: is what I'm doing right now related to what I want to achieve? Okay, is what I'm doing right now related to what I want to achieve? Okay, if it's not, if you ask yourself that question, 20, 30 times a day, it'll help you get back on track. Is what I'm doing right now related to what I want to achieve? If the answer to that is no, okay, stop doing it. Okay, stop doing it. Because you remember our mind, our mind wants to be able to go in like comfort areas. This is really useful to gauge, to see how you're spending your time in ways that are useful and helpful, and those ways that just need to go away. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, I'm going to go on to number 10. Number 10 is to clean up your thoughts about the drudgery of doing a task. What happens when we think of something as to be drudgery is that we will procrastinate it. And then we'll go quickly into the fear, because procrastination really is fear. And that fear escalates and then produces shame. And shame, no, we don't have any change in shame. If a person's feeling shame, they're not going to change. But what we do find is that the more shame we have, the more we have self-judgment. And the more self-judgment we have, then the more fear we have. Oh my gosh, becomes a huge cycle that just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So this is where the brain is doing more thinking. The brain is doing more thinking, and we are doing less doing. Okay? Too much thinking will make you tired and rob you of your energy. Some of you out there, you're thinking too much, or you're thinking and you're not getting it on paper. You're not getting on your most important list. You're not getting it on your calendar. You're not getting on your yearly calendar. You're not using the tools. So you feel like you got to store all this stuff in your brain. Exhausting, people. Exhausting. Okay, so I said get it out on paper. Just get it out, and you'll find that you're going to have more sense of energy. And of course, that always goes back to your time tools, right, that we talked about last week. Okay, keeping something in your brain. I swear to you, when you keep all this in your brain, it nags at you, nags at you, nags at you, nags at you. It's like when you left the home and forgot to turn off the curling iron. Or did you forget to turn off the curling iron? Did I forget? Did I not forget? Did I remember pulling it out? Did I turn it off? Okay, you know what? Your brain's going to nag you all day long. Then it's going to go to this crazy place called, oh my gosh, am I going to burn my house down? That's what happens. You got to turn off the thinking, because this kind of brain nagging will go on for days, weeks, right? So it's true. It's countless things in our life. But your calendar and your list of things to do will eliminate the frustrations and the continual mind nagging. All right, these tools, you guys, you're gonna be using them because they work, but you're also going to have a little bit of resistance with it. The brain may tell you it's too difficult. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to do all this. start with the simple and the small things to get your feet on the ground running. If you overdo or you over plan or over schedule, you set yourself up for failure. Please don't do that. You know, most people I've ever coached or talked with, they've got too much on their to-do list. So start moving some of those things off. Delegate some of those things out. So I want us to be very clear about this. We want a happy, successful, joy-filled life that, yes, has accomplishments, but also has the feeling of being present to your moment, to enjoy whatever that moment is. So the kind of thinking that I'm talking about is going to create greater outcomes that you really want to have. And all of the things I've talked about are much more likely to happen if you take them in bite-sized pieces. So I'm going to give you an example as we close up today. Is I've been cleaning out my basement. I really have been cleaning out my basement. And for years, actually, I hate to tell you this, honestly, it's so sad. I've had one word on my weekly to-do list, and it's called basement. In my dump it list, I have one word, it's called basement. And I have been so overwhelmed by that one word that I have avoided that task for years. I'm not even going to tell you how many years, but it's been a lot. So here was my solution. My solution was write down a small step. Number one step, Suzanne, put your cleaning clothes on. Okay. Number two, get 3 bins out. Trash, give away, keep. Number 3, put some fun music on. And then begin with box number 1 on the southwest side. Okay, you guys, those are small steps. This keeps things easy, and the brain wants easy. The start will put you into momentum, and then any task is so much easier, right, you guys, when you just start. All right, let's see what you guys are saying to me. I've got 4 clocks in back of me, right? Because it's the subject of time management. Thank you, Aquila. Okay. Oh, yes. And Lynette, don't you love what Lynette said? She said when she brain dumps, I find I put too much on my list at first and then have to prioritize. Yeah, that's when you start doubling down. You know, on my brain dump was I want to learn Spanish. That's been on brain dump for a couple of years too. But because it's not an ultra priority, it gets moved off. Someday it may be a priority, but for right now, kind of not. Yes, and you know what, Carrie? I knew you were going to comment about being present to the moment because I feel you're a perfect example of being present to the moment. Okay, lastly, picture the outcome you want to have in your mind. Picture the way you want to see yourself. Okay, this is really going to help put the best outcome in your thoughts. This new thought I have about my basement, okay? Because the thought, I can see my basement right now, you guys. It's full of boxes and it's a crazy mess. But my thought about is the way I want to see it. I want to see it organized. I want to see it clean. I want to see it comfortable. And I want to see it the way I've organized and honored the memories of my mother, my father, the people who passed before us, our children. That's pictures and albums, obviously. But I want to honor my life by seeing it all organized and easily to walk through, okay? So I'm seeing the vision I want to see. So that's my last kind of number 11 is to see the picture of what you want in your mind first. Because remember, if you can see it, then you're going to move forward to it. We've had a great topic today. Thank you all for being on. Jeanette, thank you. Yeah, she likes the comment about the brain wants easy. Yes, it does. But of course, you know, we don't stretch under easy, right? All right, you guys, have an amazing week. Let's keep commenting through the week. Let's add a few friends on the Rich Girl series. I love the time with you. Thank you. You're my motivation every week to come up with topics that I think that will benefit all of us. And the person who benefits the most is me. So thank you for allowing this time together for us. And Linda, thanks for being on. Love this. You are a blessing in my life too. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you guys. Have an amazing week out there. Go do something really great with your life today. Love you. Bye-bye.